video, I'm going to be doing a one brand tutorial. Today, I'm going to be doing my makeup along with you guys using only Wet n Wild beauty products. As you can see, we are in a new location. Not really new location, just kind of switching things up. We're actually on my vanity. So this is like my vanity area where I actually sit down and do my makeup every day, or almost every day. I'm really sorry that if you can see a glare right there of my ring light or one of my lights or whatever. I need to get curtains for that, and I'm going to go do that today. I think within the last couple months, Wet n Wild has really stepped up their game. They're coming out with tons of new products consistently, and with each new launch, there's so many amazing products that are coming out. It's like one is better than the other, and I've just really been impressed with their makeup game and makeup skills overall. I've already gone ahead and done my eyebrows. That's the only thing that I don't have a brow product from Wet n Wild, and quite honestly, I'm okay with that because I am very particular about my brows, as many people, and I have to kind of use my go-tos, otherwise it's kind of gonna just ruin my day. I use the Ardell Pro Mechanical Pencil. That's like the Anastasia Beverly Hills dupe. I've raved about it before. It's very, very good, and I already went ahead and prepped my eyes. I use the Ingla eyeshadow base. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Wet n Wild contouring palette, this one right here, and I'm just gonna dip my brush into it a little bit, and I'm going to use that to set my primer. It's important to set your primer sometimes, and it's important to set your primer especially if you have oily eyelids, because then when you blend out, it's just gonna be a lot smoother because it's like one smooth flat canvas. I'm gonna go into the Wet n Wild Drinking a Glass of Shine eyeshadow palette. This is an all matte palette. I don't think you can get this anymore, but I've seen it on Amazon and online a little bit, so I will try to find a link for you guys. And then I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild crease brush. I'm gonna go into this beige shade right here. All I'm doing is working this into my crease, just back and forth, and then we're gonna do little circles to make sure there are no harsh lines. Go back into this contouring palette, and I'm gonna use this bronze shade right here. It's like a really nice taupey brown kind of color. That's why it's really perfect to contour. I'm going to use that to deepen up the crease a little bit more, just because the first color we applied was so light. I don't want to just be like bam color. So I'm just taking a MAC 217 and, like I said, just working it into the crease. Go back into this palette, and I'm going to use some of that white shade, and I'm just going to pack this all over the lid. This is just going to make the lid really nice and vibrant for whatever color we go on. Getting back into the palette, I'm going to go into this brown shade right here. Really nice warm chocolate brown, and it blends out pretty nicely as well. So I'm going to use this on the outer V and then work it into the crease. I'm going to use one of their color icon trios. This is in Velour Vixen. There's a little bit of this cranberry shade on my MAC 217, and I'm going to pack this only in the outer V part. Just going to give a nice cranberry warm color to the outer V. I'm going to go into another one of their color icon trios. This is in Plaid to the Bone, and I'm going to go in with that nice brownish taupey kind of color. I'm just going to take that on a BH Cosmetics brush. But I'm going to spray a little Fix Plus first. And then this is going to go in the inner part and middle part of our lid. If you get it on the cranberry a little bit, don't even worry, we'll go over it. But just like right in here. I really like this color, it's really pretty. Then we're just going to go back in a little bit with that cranberry shade. Now moving on to liner, I'm just going to do a little bit of a baby wing liner, and I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Skinny Tip Eyeliner. This is the first time I'm trying it, and it's really, really teeny weeny. Like, you can't even see that. I've never used it, so I don't know what to expect or how it's going to look, but let's just try it out. It's pretty nicely pigmented. Yeah, not bad. It's really nicely pigmented for being so small. Alrighty, kind of impressed with that one. Another thing I don't have from Wet n Wild is eyelashes. So for today, I'm going to use the Velour and Nicole Guerrero Casually Glamorous eyelashes. So for my foundation, I'm going to be mixing 2 different shades. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Cream Beige and Golden Beige. So I'm going to be mixing both of these because Cream Beige is just a little bit too dark for me. I have tried this one before. This is the one that comes with that like little applicator, and I really liked the way it looked on my skin. So excuse like the orange spots. I just added a little bit of the LA Girl Pro Conceal because I do have some dark spots happening here. I don't know what my skin is doing right now, but it's really annoying me. I always get foundation in my hair. I don't understand how people can do their foundation and not get it in their hair. Sure. And then I'm just going to be using like a fake beauty blender. I got this at TJ Maxx and I like it. It works really well. I would say that this foundation is like a medium coverage, but super buildable to a full coverage. And the way it feels on your skin once it like sets and it's done, it's like satin. It literally feels just like super smooth and not silky, but like I said, satiny. It just feels really nice on the skin. Well, lately I've been having more dry skin on my outer areas of my face, but even on the oily parts of my face, as long as I set it like every other foundation, it works just fine and it lasts just enough time. So as you can see here, it already looks a little bit better than on this side, but it's not like extremely full coverage. Either way, I do like it. It's a really good foundation and it's very buildable. We are done with that. Moving on to concealer, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Focus Concealer, and I'm going to use the shade Light Ivory. This is like light medium beige, but I feel like it's a little bit too dark for like highlighting, so I'm just going to use Light Ivory. And the one thing I didn't like is that they didn't really have that many shade options in this concealer. So you were kind of limited on what you could pick. It has a doe foot applicator, but I feel like the applicator doesn't pull out too much product, which I guess is a good thing. That way you don't waste it, but I do feel like I have to go in more than once. It blends out really nicely and pretty easily. And as you can tell, it does really kind of highlight and conceal. It's not extremely full coverage either, but I think this was like $3.99. So it's kind of like the Maybelline Fit Me. It's not like the most full coverage concealer out there on the market, but I think for the price you pay, I don't really mind having to go in more than once to really conceal that area, and you know, buying multiples if I have to. So you can see, like I said, it doesn't really come out too much product, but I guess that could be a good thing because I sometimes go a little bit too homogenous with my concealer, and that's not good. I actually did have a powder that I was going to use to set my under eye and my face, but it completely cracked on me, so I'm going to use the NYX HD Banana Powder. I'm going to go back into this cranberry color, and I'm going to smoke that out on my lower lash line as well. And for my waterline, I'm just going to use this nude pencil from Wet n Wild. I'm going to move on to contour and bronzer. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. It's in the shade Cocoa, and it looks just like this. And I'm just going to use a little bit of this to warm up my face for my bronzer. So we're not going to contour with this because it is a little bit warm, but we're just going to use this. Oh yeah. But we're just going to use this to bronze the face a little bit. And I like a warm bronzer, so I don't mind, but you could tell that it is pretty warm. This is supposed to be a setting powder, and this is the one that I told you guys broke. So I did have this in like medium ivory, I want to say, or like the second lightest shade. I did have it in this, and it's a really good powder. It's very finely milled. It blends out really nicely, and it's super lightweight on the skin, but this is the one that I was telling you that completely cracked on me. So in 2 shades, one to set my face and one to bronze with. So that's what we're gonna do. Contour, I'm gonna use the contouring palette Contour. This is in Dulce de Leche. And then I'm going to use the angled Wet n Wild brush, and I'm just going to go into this shade right here. It's a nice shade. It's not too warm, not too neutral. So perfect for contouring. Only thing I don't like is you can see how much fallout you get with these. Not a fan of that, but I really like this brush too. This brush works really well for cream products. Works really nice to contour, and it works really nice for blush too. So take another one of the blending brushes from Wet n Wild. I'm going to go into this same shade, and then I'm just going to use this to contour my nose. And for my blush, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush. This is in Rose Champagne, and it's just a very neutral champagne-y color. Really not much to it. but it's just gonna add a little bit of life to our cheeks. Like you can barely see. It just adds like a hint of warmth to it, like barely any, which normally I don't like. But sometimes if you have like a more dramatic look going on, or if you're just not really feeling blush, this is a perfect shade because it's pretty nude. It does have a little bit of shimmer too, so you can see the shimmer like right here. So if you don't like shimmer, you may not like this one. And then for a highlight, I'm gonna mix two of my favorites. This is the Mega Glow Precious Petals highlighter, and this is the Mega Glow highlighting bar. I have a review on this one, and like I was saying, it's not like incredible and like blows me out of the water like these did, but together these make such a beautiful combination. So I'm just gonna take my Sigma tapered highlighter brush, I'm gonna dip it into this one and then dip it into this one a little bit. Ooh, yes, bitch, yes. My God, do you see that? Like, okay. My skin's like not the best right now, so I should not be adding too much highlight, but I'm gonna look. And I'm just gonna dab a little bit on the cupid's bow and a little bit on my nose. There we go. Finally, for my lips, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild. Why do I keep saying Wet n Wild? Obviously, this is mostly all Wet n Wild. But anyway, the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit, and this is in the shade Rockin' Rose. This formula is exquisite. It's so freaking bomb. Like, you don't need a lip liner. The doe foot is like a curved doe foot, so it like really hugs your lips really nicely. It's so pigmented. Like, you guys are about to see. And to finish everything off, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Fizz Setting Spray. I like this setting spray too. It's like $4.99. Oh, I got some in my mouth just now when I was talking. But I really like this one. I like how it's so small, but it gives you 1.52 fluid ounces, so you get a lot of product in there as well. And it actually does work really nice to set your makeup. So let me just organize myself together. This is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. Again, let me know down in the comments below if you guys want to see any more one brand tutorials about Tarte Cosmetics or Makeup Forever as the next one. So make sure you're following me on blog, Snapchat, and Instagram. I keep you guys updated with all the newest stuff and all the crazy things that I'm doing up on there, more than I do on YouTube. I'm trying to really pump out consistently good videos for you guys. So if you have any video requests or any questions or anything, again, just leave it down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.